Okay, here's going to be a brief demo of how you can use the Chroma key effect in Adobe Premiere and how you can put a graphic back behind whatever you recorded in front of the green screen, and also how to clean it up and trim off parts of the video. So first thing we want to do is to download the clips that were recorded and also our background image. That will probably be on a network drive, probably Department FS. So open up a Windows Explorer window, //Department FS /com, that right there. Yours may be under classes or whatever your instructor tells you it's going to be at. Mine's going to be under faculty because it's just me. Let me go to my folder, and I've got Chroma key demo. Here's the video clip that was recorded, and also I've got a JPEG here of the background image. So I'm going to select both of these, right click and drag, and I'm going to copy them there. So now we have them on the desktop. This is where we can work with them. Don't edit directly off the network drive. It's going to be slow. It's not going to work out well for you. Put it onto maybe the desktop temporarily, or onto an external hard drive would be best. Okay, let's open up Premiere Pro. Click on Start, All Programs. Click on Premiere Pro. I've already got it opened up. It'll come up to something like this. Just go ahead and create a new project by clicking here. If this welcome screen doesn't come up, you can go here, File, New, and Project. Choose a place where you're going to save it to. Probably your external hard drive. It's probably where you should put it. I'm just going to create this one on the desktop, and I'm just going to say test, just because I'm doing it here temporarily. Okay, fine. I'll just put it here. Title, the name, I'm just going to say Chroma key test. Okay, cool. Just hit enter. And then it'll start to initialize the workspace. Okay, so if you haven't used Premiere Pro ever, then what you've got are these sort of tiled windows here. The program area, you will see the final video. The timeline will be the timeline that shows where the videos are. And over here you've got a couple different things where the effects are listed, where the project files are going to be. So in here we need to import the video files that we're going to be using. So find wherever we transferred those video files to. In my case, I just put them on the desktop. So just browse to wherever your videos are, and see, that's the video clip. We're just going to take that, drag it over here into the project bin, and then that will import it. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, it already did. Okay. And then the same thing with the background. Let's just click and drag that over. So we've got those two files that we're going to work with. All right, we can close out of that. The simplest thing to do is we need to create a timeline, also known as a sequence, and to make sure that that timeline matches up with the kind of video that we have, right click on the video clip, go to New Sequence from Clip. Okay, so that's going to create a timeline, and it's going to throw the clip in there. We can hit the space bar to play it out, and there's me in front of the green screen. And you can see, there it is. Okay. You can use this scroll bar down here to kind of move through the timeline. There's not a whole lot here. We can click this little end here to zoom in, maybe get a little bit closer to what we're looking at. Real easy to trim up these clips, like the ins and the outs. You just grab on to the right of it, or the left if you want to trim the beginning of it. But right here we're trimming the end, and you just click and drag that in to wherever you want the video to end, and then let off. Same thing with the front of it. Click it, and then click that, drag it in. Okay, and we can just click through, and we can see where the video is, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, probably the first thing to do is, we've got a little bit of the edge here, where we see the edges of the green screen. Not everything's green. So if we try to apply the effect, that's going to show up. That's not going to key out. So we need to start messing with our effects. Down here, kind of where the project is, the project files are, in one of these tabs you'll see Effects. Go to Effects, and here's where you're going to see everything: audio effects, video effects, your transitions. We're just going to be using the effects now. Underneath where it says video effects, let's expand that down, click the triangle, and then we're going to go to which one is it? Transform. So under video effects, I'll show it to you again. Video effects, go all the way down, transform, and there's an effect called crop. So the way we apply it, we just click this and drag it over on top of the clip, and you can see how it will highlight where it's going to be. Just drop it right on top of there. Okay. So when we've done that, up here under our effect controls, if you don't see it, you may see something else. Just click on effect controls, and then to make sure that we're controlling which clip we want to control, just you can click on the clip down here and it'll come back. And it's pretty easy. You'll see all the list of effects here. There's crop, and you'll see left, top, right, or bottom. We want to just trim left and right. So we'll use, if we hover over this, you'll see that there's a little hand with 2 arrows. Just click and drag it over, and you'll see that it'll start trimming out this area. And just go ahead and trim in as far as you need to, unless you're moving your arms and it moves out past, but like that. So we need to maybe bring it back a little bit to about there. Alright, same thing with the right side. We'll just hover over this, click, hold down, and just drag it to the left or the right, and you'll see it happen. There you go. So we let off, and then come down here and we can scroll through, and you can see, okay, great, now we've trimmed that up. Excellent. Now to apply the Chroma key effect. Same thing down here in the effects. Just go to keying underneath kind of where we were, and there's down here where we see Ultra key. We want to apply Ultra key. Click that, drag it on top of the clip like we did before. Now we see another effect pop up. Just to keep it simple, let's collapse the shrink up the crop, and now we see Ultra key effect. 2 things that we need to do. We're going to select what color it is, and then we're going to go in here and kind of clean it up a little bit. So first thing, just click once on the eyedropper, and you'll see it turns your cursor into a little eyedropper, and put it somewhere that's kind of in between your lightest and your darkest. Just click somewhere like about yay. And that did a pretty good job like that already. Doesn't look too bad, and we can preview what that looks like. Hit the spacebar to play when you're clicked down into here, and it's playing. Not too bad. If it doesn't look too great, there's a thing on here called matte cleanup, and this is where you can click and drag and you can adjust some of the parameters here, but for right now it does look pretty good. There's also a soften, which will sort of feather the edge on there. So just kind of play around with it. It doesn't look too bad right now. Okay, so now how do we put something back behind? Let's just go back here and we'll see there's our background. But one thing to note about Premiere is if we look back here on the timeline, there are different layers. And the way that it stacks up is that it's, imagine if you're looking from the top layer down. So whatever's on top is what's going to be on top. So we need this video clip to be on the bottom. So let's just click this up. So that's on top, and then we're going to put the video clip on that track that's just below it. So the way we bring things into the timeline, we just drag it right out of the project and put it in here. Let's move the playback head back, and you'll see, boom, there it is. We do see that the chroma key, because now we have a graphic behind it, you can kind of tell that it's been keyed. Let's click on the video that we just put in there. And let's go back to the matte cleanup. And this is where we can do a little cleanup. We can adjust some of these parameters. There's one. See contrast right there, kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Still not perfect. Just go through here and play with some of these. There we go, midpoint, that really cleaned it up nicely. So again, it'll take a little experiment. Just go over here and fiddle with some of these. If you need to get it back to its default, just click on this thing. That'll say reset parameter, and it'll bring it back to whatever it was defaulted to. And so yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, one thing you'll notice is that that graphic goes away. It's not long enough. Pretty simple. It's a still picture. All you got to do is just grab on the right side of it like we did before and just drag it on over. And the cool thing is that it'll snap to the end of that video, so it'll be the exact same length. And so that way, boom, there it is. We've got it going the whole way through. Cool, huh? You can, if you want to get fancy with it, you can do a transition to go out of it, like to dissolve to black, but probably not necessary right now. Just make sure you have enough room at the end of your clip. Like we're going to expand it out so it's just a little bit hanging out. That way it just doesn't dead end at the last word. Cool. Awesome. Now we just need to export this. So all we got to do is go over here, File, and we're going to Export, and then there's Media. Click on Media. This will bring up the export things. Probably the easiest thing to do down here or over here, the format. Format it as an H.264. It's a good codec. It's used on Blu-ray. It's cool. Preset, you can do, probably just do it as a match source medium bitrate. See that? So our format here is H.264. Our preset is match source medium bitrate. So it'll be the same size that it was recorded at, but it'll be it won't be like a huge file, and we can preview it right here. Okay, just hit export. Actually, one thing, I'm going to cancel this because one thing that I need to make sure and show you that we didn't check is below all this stuff is the output name. So if we click that, that will tell you where this is where you select where you're going to save it. For this demo, temporarily, I'm just going to put it on the desktop, which is usually what I would recommend you do before you copy it to your hard drive or upload it wherever you need to go. So I'm just going to say test, save, and then we'll export it, and then that's going to save it to the desktop as test.mp4. It's going to export it. Cool. It's there. Minimize it. There's our test. I'll double click on it. We can play it. Come on. It's there, I promise. Anyway, after you've saved it there, you've exported it to the desktop, then you can just drag that into like where your external hard drive is, or the network drive, wherever your instructor wants it to be. Okay, it's loaded up. Let's see if it'll play it. Yeah, so there's our final product, and it's yours truly there in front of the green screen. We'll put that graphic back behind it. So there you go. That's that's kind of the quick and dirty of how to do a chroma key effect in Premiere Pro. There you go.